There is a great, as we've said before, financial services always feel comfortable when they feel like they're being rational. Of course, we never really are truly rational because we're human beings and not automatons. But can we, if we take DEI logically, and you were talking about, making sure you appeal to diversity, and within an asset manager, that's about diversity of thought, right? Because the most pernicious thing for investment is groupthink, right? And that's why I always say that stock markets are fascinating because they're the longest run continuous psychological mass experiment we've ever done, right? It's herd behavior. And if you want to be successful, you want to know when to ride the herd behavior and when to get off. So we need diversity of thought within asset managers and within investors to be able to do that. How do we embed that? Because if we think about diversity, it's not just about skin color or sexual orientation. If everybody's going to the same university and studying the same subjects, you're going to have very similar ways of thinking. So how do we diversify out of that groupthink?
Yeah, I mean, lots to unpack there. I think what you were saying about rational investors is so fascinating because markets are just human behavior, which we know isn't rational. So it's so funny how we always kind of act as though markets are this totally rational, independent thing. But anyway, that's maybe a conversation for another episode. But yeah, I do think that cognitive diversity is really important. I think sometimes it can be a bit of a scapegoat to not think about other forms of injustice like sexism and racism. So we shouldn't forget about that. But as you say, you can look quite different, but all think very similarly if you've all had the exact same upbringing. And I think that to really foster an environment where people with different views can be heard, you need the culture. You need a really open, safe culture where people are encouraged to share their views no matter what their level, where there's no kind of shame or ego that gets in the way. And unfortunately, I do think that ego is often associated with masculinity more than femininity.